In this episode, we will cover 3 topics. Number 1, how do we do double-sided carton printing? 2, how to create an embossed logo. And lastly, how to apply a varnish. Let's get started. So here we are in Artios CAD. This is where I created a folding carton with the proper dimensions to fit this bottle inside. Once I created this, notice that I also added a bleed area and glue flaps right here. All the information is ready, and now I simply place this in an Adobe Illustrator document using the structural design plugin right here, and then using the place file. Okay, so once I'm done placing the file, I have my front, so to speak. I've added all my artwork elements to this front right here. And I used a little trick here to expand one of these layers and use that as a mask for this colored background. The way I did that was going into the Esko and then using the structural design plugin, and right here using the expand structural design layer. So in here you can identify the outside bleed that was defined in Artios CAD, and once you expand this, this will now give you the capability to select this object in your layer menu. As you can see here, I expanded it into this Bart bleed right here, and after selecting this compound path, I can now fill that with the appropriate Pantone color. So that just as a side note. Now here's the trick to also in this same document place the inside, so to speak. Now you can also do this in Adobe Illustrator by creating 2 artboards. In my case, you can see that I have only created 1 specific artboard up here. You can see. It doesn't matter. Or you could do it in 2 single documents, 2 separate documents, if you will. Okay. I like to finish it in 1 document. So after I placed this structural file a second time by going to structural design and using the place, I end up with the same front. But what you do then is, and here's the trick, in the structural design plugin, right here where it says print side, you can indicate whether you're placing the front or the back. So the second time you place that, you indicate the back, and you'll see it becomes a mirror of the front. Here I applied a different kind of Pantone and a quick message when the consumer opens the carton. He or she will see this message. Also notice in the layer menu that at this point your die will be duplicated and will be present twice. So you'll have your die here for the inside, and you'll have your die for the outside. So let's zoom out to show you that. So when I hide, this is the outside and this is the inside. Once you've done that and you come into Studio, you'll be able to visualize this. But notice here that I can only kind of see the outside of the carton. So how can I create a second view where this flap, this top flap here, is opened up? Well, for that we have to go into the little hamburger icon here on the top right, and scrolling about towards the middle of the menu, you'll see this Fold Artios CAD file. This will open up a floating window, allowing me to select the fold here on that top flap and changing the angle of that. So selecting both left and right side by holding down my Shift key, I can also open this one up. And then clicking on Continue, I indicate now the front of my design, and I can save this as a second view. So let's call this View Open. Okay. Saving it, I now have the possibility to either place this in my current document, which I don't want to do. I only want to load this as a scene to visualize it. Now you're probably wondering, what is a scene? Well, you can already see here in the Studio menu in the top left corner that I can pick from different scenes, right? So this is where I'm able to switch between my original ARD file and my second view. Notice that I made a little mistake when I selected the front and the back. So the folding carton, actually the artwork is positioned wrongly. So this can really flush out problems. So my principal display panel that I thought was right here actually is on this flap. Okay. In a next episode, we'll show you how you can avoid some of these things. So let's fast forward and change the graphics on this flap, and we'll be back in just a second. And here we are back. Let's go ahead and update our view. And we can see now that my carton has been designed properly with the artwork on the principal display panel. And also notice here that I can look inside and see the message that's displayed on that inside. In a following episode, we'll also show you how you can now combine the bottle together with this view. So stay tuned. How to apply an embossed logo. Okay, let's have a look at this. Let's say, for instance, that we want to have this specific element of the design embossed, right? So how do we do that? Well, first we need to add the embossing finishing operations. So we can go to finishing operations. Again, if you can't find that here, go through the Esko menu, and then you'll be able to find the finishing operations here in the Studio. Let's see, right there. Okay, so once you have that, hit the little menu here, hamburger menu on the top, and click on the Add operation, which will give you access to this library of different operations. And we are here in the standard library in the embossing, die cut, and seal crimping. So you can see that there are different types of embossing, debossing available. I'm going to choose the sculptured 3D one right here. Or we could use this one right here, the wide rounded, or the rounded one. Let's pick the sharp rounded one for this purpose. Once we add that as a swatch, it is now available sharp rounded here in my finishing operations, and using my BoostX selection tool, I can select these elements, and I can assign this deboss, emboss, deboss right here. So using your shift your shift key, you'll be able to see the proper name of that. That's the one that I just applied. If I go to Studio right now, and again holding my shift key to browse up a little bit, making sure that I am right here clicking to the first part using the arrow, and then picking the visualizer quality, very important, right? Because in Designer, you're never going to see this embossing. So right now, if we turn this right here, we can now see the sharp embossing that I applied. Another tip is you can hold down your control key on your keyboard, and panning over this design, you can move the lighting environment around that design to kind of really accentuate that specific embossing. And of course, you can always zoom in and evaluate it this way as well. So that answers the question how to create an embossed logo. And lastly, we have how to apply a varnish to my design. So let's say we want to apply a varnish to the front right here. Okay. There is a shortcut that you can take in order to do that, because my front right here, let's see, this is the back, so this is the front. So my front die line right here has a specific piece of information which might be very valuable to me right here, and that is the outside bleed area. So I might be able to use that and then extract that information and fill it with a varnish, right? So how do we do that? Well, let's go to the Esko menu and then go to structural design. Hang on, no, right there, structural design. And let's expand that specific layer, okay? You can always also do it in an easier fashion. Just realize that here by using this create varnish plate. So let's go ahead and do that. That makes it much easier because it recognizes the bounding box of the structure. It can use the bleed outline of the design, and let's do that. Use bleed outline. So you can see that the software automatically now created this additional layer right here. So you can switch that layer on and off right there, and it automatically colored it in this varnish. Now you can see that that was actually, let's pick that proper color. So let's go to that group right there. That's the color right there, using this compound path. So this is the color right there, varnish that was selected. And obviously that was also set in an overprint fill mode, right? So that is how you can easily apply a flood code varnish. Again, make sure you're in visualizer mode. And that covers today's topics. Thanks again for watching. Stay tuned and thumbs up. See you next time.